What if I told you there's a kind of project so massive it can change entire economies, move mountains, literally, and become a nation's legacy, just like the Pyramids of Egypt or the towering Burj Khalifa? These aren't just big projects, they're mega projects. But what does it really mean to be a mega project? Think about the last time you saw a futuristic bridge, an underwater tunnel, or an entire city being built from scratch. Did you ever wonder what it takes to make that happen? It's not just about size, it's about ambition, complexity, and relentless innovation. Mega projects aren't just built, they're engineered to defy limits. Stretching across entire landscapes, these giants require mountains of resources, thousands of people, and sometimes decades to complete. But that's just the beginning. The real magic of mega projects lies in their impact. They don't just transform skylines, they transform entire communities. From boosting economies to reshaping livelihoods, these projects leave legacies. But the road to success is rarely smooth. Budgets, they get blown. Timelines, missed. And what about nature? Well, balancing progress with preservation is no small feat. Communities are uprooted and local economies are altered forever. And yet we keep pushing forward. Why? Because mega projects aren't just construction sites, they're dreams being realized. So next time you see one of these massive undertakings on the news, don't just scroll past, look closer. See the ambition, the innovation, and the thousands of people behind it. And if you're curious to know more, stick around, because today we're taking you inside the world of mega projects. The Great Wall of China. What if you were asked to build a wall so long it could stretch from Los Angeles to New York, and then back again? Sounds impossible, right? Well, that's exactly what happened in ancient China. The result? The Great Wall of China, a structure so vast it spans over 21,000 kilometers, making it the longest wall in the world. But here's the real question. Have you ever thought about what it took to build something so colossal? The time, the labor, and the sheer effort required? This isn't just a wall. It's a living testament to the strength, resilience, and brilliance of an entire civilization. The story of the Great Wall begins long before it became the global icon we know today. It all started during the Spring and Autumn period, 770 to 476 BCE, a time when rival states were locked in constant conflict with invading nomadic tribes like the Mongols. Each state built its own fortifications to protect its people and resources. But it wasn't until the reign of Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor of China, 221 to 206 BCE, that the Great Wall truly began to take shape. He took the scattered walls from different regions and connected them into one unified system, a monumental act of vision and power. Over the centuries, as new Chinese dynasties rose to power, so did the wall. The Ming Dynasty, 1368 to 1644 AD, added some of the most iconic sections we see today, with strong brickwork and towering watchtowers. But the wall became more than just a defensive barrier. It became a symbol of China's strength, ingenuity, and cultural pride. Now imagine the sheer effort it took to build it. The materials used weren't uniform. In some places it was stone. In others, it was brick, earth, or even wood. Builders had to use whatever was available in each region. The labor force? It was just as diverse. Soldiers, peasants, prisoners, and even convicts worked on the wall under grueling conditions. Think about it for a moment. Generations of workers risking their lives on dangerous cliffs and rugged mountains. Accidents, disease, and exhaustion were constant threats. Thousands of workers never made it home. Some legends even suggest that the remains of those who died were buried within the wall itself. Whether fact or folklore, it shows just how much human sacrifice went into the creation of this monumental structure. But it wasn't just about defense. The wall was a line of communication too. Watchtowers, fortresses, and beacon towers were built at the strategic points along the wall. When invaders approached, smoke signals and fire beacons were used to send messages down the line. It wasn't just a wall, it was an early version of a nationwide alert system, warning of threats before they arrived. This blend of defense, communication, and strategy makes the Great Wall a masterpiece of ancient military engineering. Today, the Great Wall is no longer a place of war. It's a symbol of unity, strength, and cultural pride. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site and one of the most visited landmarks on the planet. Have you ever dreamed of walking along it yourself? Millions of people from all over the world do just that every year, visiting famous sections like Badaling in Beijing and Jinshanling in Hebei province. People walk the steps, pose for photos, and look out at the breathtaking views of rolling mountains that stretch endlessly into the horizon. But while tourists marvel at its beauty, few truly grasp the human effort that went into every brick, every stone, and every step. But here's something not everyone realizes. The Great Wall wasn't just a physical barrier, it was also a psychological one. It marked the boundary between civilization and outsiders, between the organized world of the Chinese Empire and the nomadic tribes to the north. It also controlled the flow of people and goods along the famous Silk Road. This wasn't just a wall to keep people out. It was a checkpoint, a border, and a place to regulate trade, migration, and even diplomacy. Imagine the bustling scene. Traders, merchants, and officials crossing from one side to the other, with soldiers watching from above. But as grand as it is, even the mightiest walls face the test of time. Today, the Great Wall faces a new set of challenges. Natural erosion, human activity, and the pressure of tourism are slowly taking their toll. In some remote areas, parts of the wall are crumbling, with the foundations literally turning to dust. Tourists, while vital to the local economy, can also cause damage as millions of feet walk across its ancient stones every year. Imagine being part of the effort to preserve it. Restoration teams face the delicate task of balancing tourism with conservation, protecting the past while making it accessible for the future. It's a race against time, one that requires patience, funding, and global support. But despite these challenges, the Great Wall remains unbreakable in spirit. It's more than just stone and mortar. It's a cultural symbol, a historical legacy, and a source of pride for China and the world. It reminds us of what humanity is capable of when we're driven by purpose, vision, and unity. So next time you see a photo of the Great Wall, or maybe even visit it yourself, think about the hands that built it. The soldiers, the prisoners, the peasants, and the engineers who gave their lives to create something that would last beyond their own generation. This wall isn't just a wall, it's a story of sacrifice, determination, and human brilliance that spans over 2,000 years. The Great Wall of China stands as a testament to the idea that with tenacity and vision, we can build something that outlives us all. We can shape history and inspire generations yet to come. It's not just a wall, it's a legacy of greatness that continues to rise brick by brick in the hearts of people around the world. Roman aqueducts. Next on our list of awe-inspiring megaprojects are the Roman aqueducts, a marvel of ancient engineering that continues to leave us in awe even today. Have you ever wondered how cities survived before plumbing existed? How did they get fresh, clean water for drinking, bathing, farming, and even mining? For the Romans, the answer was nothing short of genius. They built aqueducts to deliver water from distant sources straight into their cities. Now think about this for a moment. How do you move water over miles of uneven terrain without modern technology? The answer lies in one simple but brilliant concept: gravity. Roman engineers created a slight downward slope for the water to flow naturally over vast distances. But here's the mind-blowing part. For every 3,000 feet of aqueduct, the water dropped by only 1 inch. Imagine how precise their calculations had to be to maintain that slope for miles on end. How do you think they measured it with no lasers, no GPS, and no modern surveying tools? The Romans didn't just build one aqueduct, they built an entire network of them, each more impressive than the last. One of the earliest was the Aqua Appia, built in 312 BCE, which brought water to a simple fountain at the cattle market in Rome. But over time, they scaled up in both distance and complexity. The Aqua Claudia and Anio Novus brought water from sources as far as 92 kilometers away. Just think about that for a second. 92 kilometers of perfectly sloped aqueduct. And then there's the Aqua Virgo, still active today, feeding one of Rome's most iconic landmarks, the Trevi Fountain. Imagine tossing a coin into that fountain today, knowing it's still supplied by an aqueduct built over 2,000 years ago. But if there's one aqueduct that stands out as a true masterpiece, it's the Pont de Gare in France. At nearly 160 feet high and stretching over 900 feet long, it's not just a marvel of engineering, it's a work of art. The structure's arches seem to defy gravity, towering above the river below. Imagine standing beneath it, gazing up at the colossal stone arches, knowing it was built with nothing but human hands, stone, and willpower. But what makes Roman aqueducts so special isn't just their size or beauty, it's their functionality. The Romans didn't just rely on gravity, they built sedimentation tanks to filter out dirt and debris, ensuring only clean water flowed into the city. They also had an intricate system of distribution tanks, channels, and stopcocks to control where the water went. Whether it was filling a public bath, watering gardens, or supplying a wealthy villa, water was always sent exactly where it was needed. Does that remind you of modern plumbing systems? It should, because many of the ideas behind today's water supply systems were inspired by Roman innovations. But what about the impact of these aqueducts? It's easy to think of them as simple water channels, but they were so much more. Without aqueducts, Rome couldn't have grown into the massive, bustling empire that it became. Imagine a city without running water. No fountains, no public baths, no irrigation for crops, no clean drinking water for millions of people. The aqueducts didn't just provide water. They made urban life possible. They fueled agriculture, industry, and public hygiene, allowing Rome to flourish and expand its influence across continents. Without aqueducts, Rome wouldn't have been Rome. But here's something to think about. The aqueducts weren't just about practicality. They were a display of Roman power and engineering brilliance. Imagine being a visitor from a distant land, walking into Rome for the first time and seeing these colossal stone structures bringing fresh water into the city. It wasn't just water. It was a statement. It said, "This is Rome. We can conquer nature itself." And it wasn't just for show. The aqueducts supported baths, fountains, and even monumental water displays, showing off Roman wealth and control over natural resources. But here's the part that often goes unnoticed. How did they organize such a massive project? There were no modern construction companies or machines. It was all human labor. Thousands of workers, including engineers, soldiers, and slaves, were needed to carve out tunnels, build stone bridges, and construct the channels. It required incredible leadership, coordination, and time. And yet these aqueducts still stand today, a reminder of what can be achieved with vision, ingenuity, and determination. The legacy of Roman aqueducts lives on in the water systems we use today. From modern plumbing to large-scale irrigation systems, many of the ideas used to move water in the Roman era are still being used. So next time you turn on a faucet or see water flowing into a city, think about the ancient engineers who figured it out first. The Roman aqueducts are more than just ancient infrastructure. They're a timeless symbol of problem-solving, precision, and human ambition. The Pyramids of Giza. Few structures in the world are as iconic and mysterious as the Pyramids of Giza. Imagine standing before these colossal monuments, gazing up at their smooth limestone faces and feeling the weight of history pressing down on you. Built over 4,500 years ago, they remain a powerful symbol of ancient Egypt's legacy. Located on the Giza Plateau near Cairo, these pyramids have sparked wonder and fascination for centuries. They weren't just tombs for pharaohs. They were feats of engineering, symbols of divine power, and gateways to the afterlife. Let's start with the most awe-inspiring of them all, the Great Pyramid of Khufu. It's the tallest of the three, and for over 3,800 years, it held the title of the tallest man-made structure in the world. Originally standing at 147 meters, 481 feet, it's a true masterpiece of precision and craftsmanship. Just think about this. It was built using over 2.3 million limestone blocks, each weighing an average of 2.5 tons. Imagine lifting and positioning those massive stones without cranes, machines, or modern technology. But that's not even the most jaw-dropping part. The Great Pyramid is aligned so perfectly with the cardinal points, north, south, east, west, that it's almost perfectly aligned with true north. How do you think they achieved such precision thousands of years ago? It's a question that still baffles scientists and historians today. Next, we have the Pyramid of Khafre, built by Khufu's son, Pharaoh Khafre. At 143 meters, 469 feet tall, it appears taller than the Great Pyramid, but that's only because it sits on higher ground. What makes this pyramid truly special is its connection to one of Egypt's most famous landmarks, the Great Sphinx. This enormous statue, with the body of a lion and the head of a man, is believed to represent Pharaoh Khafre himself. Imagine standing next to the Sphinx, feeling its gaze locked onto the horizon as if it's watching over the entire plateau. It's one of the most enduring and mysterious images of the ancient world. The third pyramid is the Pyramid of Menkaure, which stands at 66 meters, 216 feet. It's smaller than its towering siblings, but don't be fooled. It still has an undeniable presence. Built for Pharaoh Menkaure, it features a mortuary temple and 3 smaller pyramids, which were likely built for his queens or family members. While smaller, its intricate design reflects the same attention to detail and spiritual significance seen in the larger pyramids. But how did they build these colossal structures? Imagine this scene: tens of thousands of workers, craftsmen, and laborers working in unison. They didn't have cranes, trucks, or heavy machinery. Instead, they used simple tools like wooden sledges, copper chisels, ramps, and levers to move and position blocks that weighed more than elephants. Some believe it was a workforce of skilled laborers, not slaves, contrary to popular belief. The sheer coordination required is mind-blowing. Imagine the stamina and dedication it took to work day after day, year after year, to complete a structure of this scale. This wasn't just construction, it was a mission of faith, belief, and legacy. But the pyramids weren't just places to store mummies. For the Egyptians, they were deeply tied to their beliefs about life, death, and the afterlife. The pharaohs weren't just kings, they were seen as gods on earth. When they died, their souls had to journey to the afterlife, a voyage filled with challenges and obstacles. The pyramid wasn't just a tomb, it was a portal to eternity. Inside, the pharaoh's body was surrounded by treasures, offerings, and sacred texts to guide them through the underworld. Every stone, every chamber, and every hidden passage had a purpose. Today, the Pyramids of Giza are more than just a relic of the past. They're a UNESCO World Heritage Site and one of the most visited tourist destinations on the planet. People from all over the world come to see these wonders up close, drawn by their mystery and magnificence. Imagine walking among the pyramids, touching the stones that were carved and placed there thousands of years ago. It's a journey into the past that few places on Earth can offer. But with all that foot traffic comes a new challenge: preservation. Tourists, weather, and time have taken their toll. And today's archaeologists and preservationists are tasked with ensuring that these grand structures stand for future generations to admire. The Pyramids of Giza are more than just tombs. They're living proof of what human ambition, belief, and brilliance can achieve. They remind us that even without modern technology, humans are capable of creating something so timeless and so enduring that it continues to inspire us thousands of years later. They are, quite literally, history written in stone. The Panama Canal? The Panama Canal isn't just a waterway, it's a symbol of human ingenuity, perseverance, and the power of teamwork. Imagine being able to cut through an entire continent, connecting the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans with a single passage. That's exactly what the Panama Canal does. It's a feat that changed the course of global trade forever. Before the canal, ships traveling from New York to San Francisco had to sail all the way around the southern tip of South America, a journey of over 21,000 kilometers. But after the canal was built, that distance was reduced to just 8,000 kilometers, saving 10 days of travel time. Imagine how that changed global trade. Suddenly, goods could move faster, cheaper, and more efficiently. Since its completion in 1914, the canal has become one of the most critical trade routes on the planet, handling thousands of ships every year and facilitating billions of dollars in trade. But how did this ambitious dream of connecting two oceans begin? The idea was first sparked in the 1500s when explorers realized how useful it would be to link the two oceans. Back then, it was a wild dream, more of a fantasy than a plan. But by the late 19th century, advancements in technology made it feel possible. In 1880, a French team led by Ferdinand de Lesseps, the same man behind the Suez Canal, attempted to bring the dream to life. But despite their experience, the project was met with overwhelming challenges. Malaria, yellow fever, deadly landslides, and financial setbacks made progress slow and dangerous. After 8 years, the French finally gave up, leaving behind miles of unfinished work. But this is where the story takes a dramatic turn. In 1904, the United States took over, determined to finish what the French could not. Under the leadership of engineers like John Stevens and George Washington Goethals, the project was reimagined. They abandoned the idea of a sea-level canal and instead created an ingenious system of locks. These locks lifted ships to the level of Gatun Lake, an artificial lake built to provide water for the locks and keep the canal flowing. Ships would then be lowered back down to the ocean on the other side. Imagine watching a giant cargo ship being lifted and lowered by nothing but water pressure. It's an engineering marvel that still works the same way today. But there's another crucial figure in this story: Dr. William Gorgas, a health expert who tackled the deadly diseases that had plagued the French effort. By eliminating the mosquitoes that carried malaria and yellow fever, he saved thousands of lives and allowed the project to continue. The result? The Panama Canal was finally completed in 1914, a moment of triumph for the world and a victory for human resilience. The construction of the Panama Canal was no small task. Tens of thousands of workers, many from the Caribbean, worked tirelessly to bring it to life. They dug through mountains, built locks, and created Gatun Lake. Imagine the noise of the dynamite blasts, the sweat of workers pushing heavy equipment, and the sight of steam shovels carving through the rocky terrain. It was a labor of both love and necessity. But it wasn't just physical labor that made the canal possible. It was a mix of vision, engineering, and human determination. And it wasn't cheap either. The total cost of the Panama Canal is estimated to be around $10 billion when adjusted for inflation. The French effort alone cost them around $287 million in the late 1800s. When the US took over in 1904, they spent about $375 million to complete the project. Think about that. Nearly $10 billion for a single waterway. That may sound like a lot, but today the Panama Canal generates billions of dollars in toll revenue every year. Talk about a long-term investment. But the spending didn't stop there. Even after its completion, the canal required continued investment. The United States spent millions on maintenance, expansions, and upgrades to keep it modern. But in 1999, something monumental happened. Panama officially took control of the canal. After nearly a century of U.S. control, Panama assumed full responsibility, and with it, the responsibility to manage one of the most important waterways on Earth. But Panama didn't just maintain it, they made it bigger and better. The Panama Canal expansion project began in 2007, costing over $5 billion. The goal? To create larger locks capable of handling Neo-Panamax ships, which are larger, wider, and carry significantly more cargo. Today, the expanded canal allows bigger ships to pass through, keeping it relevant in the fast-paced world of modern shipping. Larger ships, bigger profits, and faster trade. The impact of the Panama Canal goes beyond economics. It symbolizes something far greater: the power of human resilience, teamwork, and problem-solving. Imagine being part of a team tasked with carving a path through dense jungles, rocky mountains, and swarms of disease-carrying mosquitoes. But they did it. They overcame every obstacle and created a man-made wonder that changed the world forever. The canal's legacy still endures today. It continues to be a vital link in the global trade network, allowing ships to move from ocean to ocean in a fraction of the time. Without it, goods would take longer to ship, costs would rise, and global supply chains would be disrupted. It's a system that connects the world, making trade faster, cheaper, and more efficient. Next time you see a cargo ship or hear about global trade, remember this: it's not just a canal. It's a testament to human resilience, ambition, and ingenuity. It's a reminder that no challenge is too big when people come together to solve it. The Panama Canal isn't just a shortcut for ships. It's a symbol of what we're capable of when we work together. Three Gorges Dam. Few engineering projects on Earth match the sheer scale and ambition of the Three Gorges Dam. Imagine standing next to a structure that stretches over 2,300 meters, 7,546 feet, long and rises 181 meters, 594 feet high. It's not just a dam. It's a symbol of human ingenuity, power, and perseverance. Built on the mighty Yangtze River in Hubei Province, China, it's one of the largest dams in the world, and its impact reaches far beyond just generating electricity. But what makes this mega project so remarkable? For starters, the primary reason for building the Three Gorges Dam was to solve a problem that had plagued China for centuries: flooding. The Yangtze River has long been known for its seasonal floods, which destroyed farmland, wiped out villages, and claimed thousands of lives. Imagine living in a place where, every year, you worry that your home might be swept away. That's the reality that millions of people faced before the dam was built. But today, thanks to the dam's ability to regulate water flow, this constant threat has been significantly reduced. It's a safeguard that has saved lives, protected farms, and provided peace of mind to millions. But flood control is just one part of the story. The Three Gorges Dam is also a giant energy powerhouse. With its massive reservoir stretching 660 kilometers, 410 miles upstream to the city of Chongqing, the dam houses one of the largest power stations in the world. It generates between 95 and 120 terawatt hours of electricity every year. To put that into perspective, that's enough power to supply millions of homes and industries across China. Imagine turning on your lights, charging your devices, and running your appliances, all powered by renewable energy from this single dam. It's a massive contribution to China's shift toward clean, renewable energy, reducing the country's reliance on coal-fired power plants. But the Three Gorges Dam isn't just about power and floods. It's also a game changer for trade and transportation. Before the dam, ships on the Yangtze River had to navigate unstable waters, facing strong currents and shallow depths. But with the construction of the dam, the river became deeper and calmer, allowing larger vessels to pass through. It's like turning a rough back road into a smooth, well-paved highway for trade. Products that might have been difficult to move before can now be transported more efficiently, connecting remote regions to global markets. The goods you buy today might have traveled along this very route. But as with any large-scale project, there are challenges and sacrifices. To make way for the Three Gorges Dam's massive reservoir, over 1.3 million people were displaced. Entire communities had to be relocated, their homes, businesses, and way of life left behind. Imagine being told you have to leave your home forever, not by choice, but by necessity. For many people, this was more than just moving. It was an emotional and cultural loss. Along with their homes, valuable cultural and historical sites were also submerged, wiping away centuries of heritage. Temples, ancient villages, and archaeological treasures disappeared beneath the rising waters, creating a sense of loss for the people who once lived there. And then there's the environmental impact. The Three Gorges Dam didn't just change the lives of people, it also altered the natural environment in ways that are still being studied today. Landslides have become more frequent in certain areas due to the weight of the water in the reservoir, and entire ecosystems were disrupted. Fish that once migrated freely along the river now face new obstacles, which has affected fish populations. The balance between economic development and environmental conservation is still a topic of global debate, as the changes to the natural landscape are both significant and long-lasting. But here's something you may not have considered. How much did it all cost? Building the Three Gorges Dam wasn't just an engineering marvel, it was also a financial giant. The total cost? Around $31.765 billion US, making it one of the most expensive construction projects in human history. Imagine the cost of building entire cities and then double it. Was it worth it? Well, when you consider the lives saved, the clean energy produced, and the boost to the economy, the answer becomes clearer. Yes, the costs were enormous, but so were the returns. But the expenses didn't end with construction. Ongoing maintenance and upgrades are essential to keep the dam running smoothly. Over the years, billions more have been invested to improve its efficiency and keep up with modern standards. But the returns have been just as significant. The Three Gorges Dam generates billions of dollars in revenue annually, thanks to the electricity it produces and the shipping fees it collects. It's an investment that continues to pay dividends for China's economy. And while the debates about its environmental impact continue, one thing is clear. The Three Gorges Dam stands as a reminder of what human beings can achieve when they dare to dream big. From flood control and power generation to trade and economic development, it represents the power of ambition and determination. At the same time, it reminds us that with great power comes great responsibility to balance human progress with social and environmental preservation. So next time you hear about the Three Gorges Dam, think about more than just its size. Think about the lives it's protected, the clean energy it's generated, and the sheer scale of human ambition that made it possible. It's not just a dam, it's a symbol of resilience, progress, and the balancing act between human achievement and nature's harmony. Burj Khalifa. Imagine standing at the base of the Burj Khalifa, gazing up at a structure so tall it feels like it could touch the clouds. Rising to a staggering height of 828 meters, 2,717 feet, it's not just a building, it's a symbol of Dubai's ambition and human engineering excellence. Designed by renowned American architect Adrian Smith, its sleek, futuristic shape wasn't just for looks. Inspired by the desert flower Himenocalis, its unique Y-shaped design enhances stability, allowing it to withstand Dubai's fierce desert winds. But have you ever wondered what it costs to turn such an audacious dream into reality? The price tag, 1.5 billion US dollars. That's right, billion with a B. It's hard to wrap your head around that figure, but when you consider how much this project transformed Dubai's skyline and global image, the cost feels justified. Construction began in 2004, but this wasn't just about building the tallest skyscraper. It was about making a statement that Dubai was ready to be a global hub of luxury, innovation, and bold ambition. By the time it was completed in 2010, the Burj Khalifa wasn't just a building, a symbol of modern architecture's greatest heights. Now here's a question. What would it feel like to stand at the top? Imagine being on the 148th floor, gazing at a view that stretches over 80 kilometers, 50 miles on a clear day. It's like seeing the world from an entirely new perspective. The Burj Khalifa's observation decks on the 124th, 125th, and 148th floors offer views that are simply breathtaking. From this height, Dubai looks like a miniature model, with cars and buildings appearing like tiny dots below. But it's not just about the view. The observation decks are equipped with interactive screens that allow you to explore Dubai's landmarks and rich history, giving you a deeper connection to the city's story. But there's more to the Burj Khalifa than just observation decks. It's also home to a luxurious mix of residential apartments, corporate suites, and the ultra-chic Armani Hotel Dubai. Imagine waking up every morning in one of those high-rise apartments, gazing out at the endless view of Dubai's skyline. It's the height of elegance, literally. Residents enjoy high-end living with world-class amenities, private lounges, and exclusive access to one of the most iconic structures on Earth. The Armani Hotel Dubai, designed by fashion legend Giorgio Armani, offers an unmatched blend of luxury, art, and style. If you've ever dreamed of staying in one of the world's most luxurious hotels, this would be it. But building something this spectacular didn't come without its challenges. Dubai is no stranger to extreme heat and fierce desert winds, and engineers had to overcome both. To keep the Burj Khalifa cool in the blazing desert sun, an innovative cooling system was installed, using thousands of liters of chilled water circulating through its system. But perhaps the most mind-blowing feat is how the tower was designed to handle wind. The Y shape wasn't just for looks. It was strategically crafted to break up wind currents, reducing the force of the winds that would otherwise buffet the tower. This is engineering at its finest. And then there's the question of maintenance. The Burj Khalifa has a total of 24,000 windows. Yes, you heard that right, 24,000 individual windows that all need to be kept spotless. Imagine the effort it takes to clean them all. It takes a team of highly skilled window washers working with state-of-the-art gear and abseiling equipment to ensure every pane is gleaming. Their task is so demanding that it can take 3 months to clean all the windows. And as soon as they finish, it's time to start all over again. Imagine scaling the side of the tallest building on Earth with nothing but a harness and rope holding you up. But the Burj Khalifa isn't just about breaking height records. It holds several other world records too. It boasts the highest observation deck, the tallest service elevator, and even the highest restaurant in the world. With so many world's tallest titles under its belt, it's no wonder visitors from around the globe flock to see it. It's not just a landmark, it's a bucket list experience. So what's the takeaway from this architectural masterpiece? The Burj Khalifa is a reminder that no dream is too big. It represents Dubai's relentless pursuit of brilliance, luxury, and progress. It shows what's possible when vision, ambition, and innovation come together. And the best part, this is just the beginning for Dubai. With new mega projects always on the horizon, it makes you wonder, what could be next for this city of limitless ambition? While mega projects showcase human ambition and innovation, they also come with significant challenges and ethical considerations. From environmental impacts like deforestation, habitat loss, and carbon emissions to the social cost of displacement and cultural loss, the consequences are far-reaching. But there's hope. By adopting sustainability measures like renewable energy, waste reduction, and community engagement, we can make these projects more equitable and future-proof. At the heart of every successful mega project is collaboration and technology. Cross-functional teams, dynamic planning systems, and advanced AI-driven tools are shaping a new era of efficiency and precision. With technologies like BIM, drones, and 3D printing, construction is faster, safer, and smarter than ever before. The future of mega projects is just as exciting as it is ambitious. From the AI-driven Stargate supercomputer to Malaysia's eco-friendly forest city and India's Delhi-Mumbai industrial corridor, the world is rethinking how we work, live, and connect. These projects aren't just about bigger buildings. They're about smarter, more sustainable development. As we move forward, the challenge isn't just to build bigger, but to build better. Imagine a future where every project balances growth with sustainability, where technology empowers communities, and where every mega project leaves a legacy of progress rather than problems. The future of mega projects isn't just being built, it's being reimagined.